Okay, we should be ready and live right now.
Cool.
Okay. We already have some notes in our chat from Dave Marks. Um, we have a couple things we want to get into before we get into the gaming content because we have a new sponsor for the channel. This is a special shout out, but I want to get some more people in here before we go over that. Anyways,
Oh,
we're
we
waiting
got
to.
a new sponsor?
Yes, we do. But what we're waiting for it to begin, why doesn't everybody just tell us how your day is going? Ooh, what have you been up to?
Oh man, it's just been work and cleaning, and then I got on, we talked to you and nerding about Pokemon and the new stats and all that good stuff.
That sounds like such a pleasant day. What about you, Dean?
I caught up on some sleep.
Good.
It was nice.
Good. It's important. Everyone needs to get their sleep. Remember that. That should be the lesson of the day.
Yeah, it is. The more you know. The green check mark.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll wait for more people to get in, I guess, before we go over the sponsor for the channel. Why don't we do that in 30 minutes so we get as much people as we can for that? To begin with, today is a stream dedicated to the failures of gaming. And I know that some people are going to be a little salty on the Hideo Kojima thing being in there. Don't worry. He's not a failure of video gaming. It's more like the people who play the game sometimes. I don't know the right way of saying it. Well, you'll see what I'm talking about. But I think the big one that I really want to get into is probably going to be the Pokemon stuff, the things going on with Blizzard, Fallout 76. But there is one more game that we covered many, many, many months ago when this channel was still well within its infancy. Do you remember that game, Origami?
Of course I do. It was Mortal Kombat, our second podcast topic. It's still up if you guys want to see it. It's like it has bad audio and everything. That's when Crow used to use his old headset.
Yeah, I would use my. Oh, Toy Bounty Hunters is here. Hey, buddy.
John's here?
Yeah, he's in the chat.
What's up, John? It's been a while. How is everything? Just don't let me detract. But Mortal Kombat 11.
That was when I used my World of Warcraft gaming headset.
it was a yep, and that's the one with your favorite ending too, because I put it in there just for you, the JoJo ending.
And it got copyright claimed immediately.
Don't know what to tell you. I'd warned you, but anyway, it could have been One Piece to be honest, because One Piece made it in there. But regardless, Mortal Kombat had a bunch of controversy around it because, what was it? Shao Kahn? We will make our world great again. So he was in comparison to Trump. Jax's ending was all about wokeness, and he became the Black Panther. And they did a lot of cover up to all the women. You know what I mean? And Kitana is iconic. Jade is iconic. They're all basically the same sprites or models, just with different color scheming, just like Sub-Zero and Scorpion. And now they just drastically changed all of that to appease whoever. So that was the controversy that it faced back then. I mean, Mortal Kombat's always had controversy. They wanted to get it off the market because it was too violent for children. Do you guys remember that?
Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
our parents used to freak out about that stuff.
No, it used to make the news. My parents used to laugh at that stuff. So I don't know. For Mortal Kombat to always be on the tail end of criticism and to bend the knee just to censor it up, even though you could still rip a woman's face right off, it's whatever.
I mean, I think that's the thing, though. A lot of these gaming companies, they just play to that little mob. And they get all the ass pats. Nobody criticizes them. Think about it, right? Are there any parents groups going after Mortal Kombat because of the violence in the video as of right now with Mortal Kombat 11? Or is everybody in media talking about how progressive it is?
There's always going to be a handful of people going for the violence, but I don't even think that matters anymore because there's games that are outdoing Mortal Kombat in violence. I think people will go after Grand Theft Auto more than Mortal Kombat, but it's mostly the social Twitter people. Real quick, too, by the way, give Toy Bounty Hunter a wrench, if you'd be so kind. That's my demand. I command it.
Okay, well, give me your partial owner of the channel.
So, I think the violence thing, it's not really going anywhere because for years they've been trying to stop video games with violent tendencies like Hitman, Mortal Kombat. Manhunt was probably the biggest one because you had to have a parent to buy that game and stores stopped selling it. But The violence just isn't doing it for them to get what they want. So they're just going to try and censor it and probably ruin it, because a lot of people complaining about the censorship for clothing, they're not competing in these games. They're not buying these games. They're not purchasing it. Nothing, you know? I mean, I didn't buy Mortal Kombat as a game because I'm a fan, but like they like to do this practice now where they re-release the game with all their DLC for a cheaper price. So I'm just waiting for that.
Ooh, Manhunt.
Yeah, you remember Manhunt?
I remember Manhunt.
Did you play it?
Dude, no. I hated horror games. Like, people always talk about like Resident Evil and how great it is. I'm like, I didn't play Resident Evil.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, it's even better to play with the lights off. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that either.
Just like, I guess it's an acquired taste, but there's stuff worse than Manhunt that came out, like The Suffering. That game was a pure horror game.
Oh man, I don't get why they think that going through and changing iconic characters is ever going to go well for anybody, and to do it to that extent. To like, Jax was not woke at all. Like, there's nothing. It's not his character, right? It's more like they just decided to rewrite everybody to fit the way that they want it to be. Period.
To just fit some narrative.
I know, and it's just it's so off-putting. And the thing is, Mortal Kombat 11 doesn't have bad combat. Like, fighting it's still great, but like, just sitting there going like, imagine if because same studio did the DC fighting game Injustice.
Yes.
Did both Injustice and Injustice 2. Now imagine in Injustice 3, Batman just becomes super woke. Like, it's just you're gonna piss everybody off, right? But
I know, instead of throwing batarangs, he's throwing petitions and shit. You know, like throwing like, sign this for equal rights everywhere.
Yeah, instead of like fighting the bad guys, he'll like show up with like a group of people and just
a picket sign.
Okay, no, he'll like show up with a group of people. They'll beat the crap out of the dude, and then they'll run around talking about how they've like smashed the patriarchy or something.
I was about to say, yeah.
Stupid shit, right? Like, no, just stop doing this shit.
Yeah, Batman's cape says "F the man," you know, like this is a disaster of a game.
And then Batgirl's cape is going to say "F the Batman."
Yeah, F the Batman, sexism, hashtag, sad face. I don't know.
And then Batman will step down as Batman and give everything over to Barbara Gordon because she'll be able to do a better job than he ever could.
Mm-hmm. And then what is it? The littlest Robin wants to fight for like gender rights or equality or something. Oh my god, this is horrible. Move on.
Damian Wayne becomes non-binary. Come on, man.
That's horrible. We got to get off that. Like, that's not good.
Yeah, the Mortal Kombat stuff was just funny. Okay, so there was somebody who was like tweeting about this, and he showed it to me. The dude's like MK11 over like everything, and it's over these like you put the designs of the old one up to the new one, and he was just like talking about how great these new designs are, and I'm just like, dude, just go fuck yourself. I can't.
Yeah. Well, his major point too was that it fixed everything, but then somebody threw that the men aren't clothed, so the excuse, because that's the thing I don't like. I don't like an excuse that insults my intelligence. You know what I mean? And I would assume that's the same thing for everybody. Like, oh yeah, we covered up the women because they needed to go into battle. They need to be like, they have to have armor. You can't go in there with no clothes. And then there's like Johnny Cage shirtless.
So someone like shows up and he's like, oh yeah, but then they put the men in Speedos, right? And obviously, you know, he's using hyperbole, and the person goes, show me one dude in a Speedo. Like, and the dude's like, okay, well, here's a guy without his shirt on. Here's another dude in like a skirt, like an armor skirt with his chest exposed and his belly exposed. And then you got you got the dude who doesn't even wear a shirt. And the person goes like, those are Speedos, though. I'm like, dude, how fucking stupid do you need to be?
Yeah, how literal does it have to be? The point is, what is it, like Kotal Khan, Shao Kahn? They wear loincloths and boots, and that's it. You know?
It's like you can't make it make sense to these people. Like, you just cannot. It's just too funny.
Yeah, so like, it's just excuses in video games why things are done. And I'm just like, that's not why. You know, it's very evident what the reasoning is. I would just like to be like people to be straight up with me. You know, like, yeah, we thought it was time to change the women, you know, make it a little more modern or something. That's fine. I don't even care about that. But when you're gonna like boldface try and bullshit me, that's what I have a problem with.
Because the female form is apparently scary. Yeah. All the white males are afraid of the woman's articulated tongue.
Emasculated.
Actually, that's a good segue into the next game because the fact that they feed us these excuses, and they never like, you know that they're lying, right? You know that they're not telling you the truth. And honestly, it's the Pokemon games, and it's not related to the wokeness or whatever. That's not what the problems with these games are. Problems with these games, it's yeah, we had the Let's Go games on the console, but these are the first main series titles going onto a console. So you would think that there would be a lot more, I don't know, like care put into it as far as like how you're going to handle your fandom. But of course, the big thing that happened was they cut the national dex. So the game has only 400 Pokemon in it, with 35 extras that are more likely going to be released over time. And necessarily, I don't think it's wrong to cut those Pokemon out, but I think it's really wrong to lie to your fans about why you're doing it. Give them bullshit excuses and not just be upfront. You know, I would say the main thing, and I'll let you jump in here, AG, in just a second. And you tell me if I'm wrong. I think the main thing is they wanted to have some sort of content cycle for the game, meaning that they want to release Pokemon back in slowly over time. That way, it just keeps people playing, right? It gives you a reason to log in and play the game every now. Versus completing the game, getting your team up, and then resetting, and then just doing that whole thing over again and again and again. The second reason is competitive. There's a much, much, much firmer push, far more than ever before, to get players into competitive. They've lowered down the barrier of entry. They've made it way simpler to understand how to do it. They've made it like, in the course of a couple of minutes, if you have all the right items, you can fully train up your Pokemon to have the best nature, to have the best stats. It's really good stuff. It really is. But rather than being upfront that, this game's going to have more competitive angle to it, this game's going to push people into online or whatever reason, because that's the actual reason. They flat out lied to the players and said the reason why they were cutting all of these Pokemon, more than half, right, of what's currently available has been cut. And said that the reason why they were doing that was to improve the graphics of the game. Which is bullshit, because the game's got some fucking PlayStation 2 level graphics, or as you like to say, Aura, PlayStation Portable graphics.
It's true though. Like, I mean, here's the thing with it. Now that you have said that, we can't, there's 50%, a little over 50% of Pokemon who aren't going to make it that we've created in this game, which we have marked up the price 50% for, is because we want to give like this high-end detailed experience. Now people are going to like look at your work and make sure you delivered on that. So that's where you just kind of like it bit you. You know what I mean? Because now people.
Sorry, but what I'm confused about, can I just interject?
Please.
How does giving us all the Pokemon mean lesser graphics?
No, yeah, and that's more to add to that point. You know what I mean? So I agree with Crow. What they're trying to do is increase the lifespan of this game by releasing Pokemon bit by bit so you can stay engaged. Now, if they would have just said that, I think they would have gotten way less flack. Instead of just trying to make it like a little surprise, like, we've listened to your feed. Like, no, like they got bit.
Well, you're
Crow,
always, you're always going to draw heat from the fandom, especially the Pokemon fandom. Right?
Yeah.
I'm just going to be upfront because I'm a huge fan of these games, and ever since Diamond and Platinum came out, I don't remember ever reading somebody or reading any thread online about the games in which someone was not just pulling out their head, pulling out their hair, screaming at their computer screen about how Game Freak was ruining their childhood.
Are you insulting the fandom?
I'm not like, dude, not everybody, but there is a fringe group. Like, there's that fringe group in a lot of fandoms, but especially in the Pokemon fandom, there's a small group of people that get very vocal when they don't get what they want. I'm not.
No, yeah,
You know what I mean, right?
no, you're gonna get roasted for saying diamond and platinum and not diamond and pearl. So
Oh my gosh, I did. Fuck.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, that fringe group is gonna come after you now.
Yeah,
yeah, you're not really a big Pokemon fan. You are. You're a liar.
But you get what I mean, right? Like, since that fourth generation of games, that's when I really started like going online and engaging with the community and everything. It's always been people just really wanting to be negative, or really just disliking. Because I get it, I do. Like, I played through the Black and White games, which was garbage. You only got to use the Unova Pokemon, which are some of the absolute worst. But you know what? I could respect the ambition of what they were trying to do. Those games, I think you said it best, AJ. Those games are not lacking for ambition at all. Period.
Yeah.
But you go into these ones, right? And if you are going to lie to your fan base about how you're doing it for graphics, at least deliver on those graphics. Or just tell the truth, because look, you're gonna get heat anyway, either way. But like, I'm sitting here going like, oh yeah, I want to play these games. It sounds like fun. But I like you guys, and I like the stuff that you've made. I don't even want to defend you because I know you fucking lied to people.
It's hard, especially because let's say all the Poke Crows got together and we defended that. It's going to be great graphics. If I have a request, is there a possible way you could pull up that clip of the PSP graphics of Zamazenta just trying to do a 360?
You know what? Why don't you keep telling them about these PSP graphics, and I'll find that clip.
You guys, I'll explain it to you. So basically, it's like a cutscene, or what it looks like to be a cutscene. And Zamazenta, the Shield legendary, is speaking, and then he's going to turn around to walk. But instead of actually doing a fluid 360, he's moving, but the world isn't moving. So he's walking in place, and then the world just starts to shift while he's walking in place. And then when he finally turns around, then he finally moves off screen.
Okay.
It's just really bad.
I have it pulled up on my screen. I'm gonna go ahead and play it right now for everybody. Just this is what people are getting really upset by.
So here we go. What was that?
I don't see what was wrong with that.
Let's watch it again. There you go.
We're just gonna keep playing this until we get freaking our stream banned.
So let's just say that we defended it, and then that comes out. Now we all look like idiots for defending it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Look at that. There's no excuse for that.
We gotta stop watching this. This is distracting me.
All right, Crow, get rid of it.
Okay. Give me a second, guys.
Just like, you cut out 50% of the decks to raise the price 50%, and that is the reason. Like,
yeah, well, again, that's the reason they told everybody, right? And I'm sitting here going like, look, I'm not playing these games expecting next level graphics in them. I'm really not. What I'm expecting you is improve the battle animations a little bit, improve the particle density, whatever, make them look nice. But like, I don't care how the overworld works, but if you're gonna sit there and brag about how these games have so much more care put into them because we cut the decks, that gives way more time to work on the animations, and then this shit's gonna happen, like, come on.
Guys,
just be honest.
Yeah, I just took a glimpse in chat. Read out Dave Marks. Check that question out. It's a good one.
And again, the real question is: will Game Freak make you pay 99 cents to $6 for Pokemon loot boxes that we have a 2% chance of getting Gardevoir or whatever?
I know Crow would pay for it.
I know he would too. Poke Crows. I'm buying like Poke Crow loot box Friday giveaway something like.
yeah. Tune into the Poke Crows on Friday, where we'll be opening up 100 Pokemon loot boxes. Let's see what we can get, fam.
Speaking of Pokemon, I don't know if it was for the DNA Crows or the Pokemon. We got a sponsor, don't we?
Yes, we do. This is for DNA Crows, and we have a very special sponsor.
Official. It's official.
This is official.
It's our mother. No, I'm joking.
Can you imagine?
No, but look, everybody. The first official sponsor of the DNA Crows is obviously somebody who does watch our content because they put the best fucking name ever. Our very first sponsor is the mad austere censorship dank lord Charizard Maximum. Thank you for that.
I'm curious on who that was. I'm gonna guess it was Sir Kyle Jordan.
I'm gonna presume it was as well. I'm just gonna call him Max because I'm not saying all that. That's
I'm
a lot.
saying-
I forgot half of it.
How dare you? How
I'm
dare
sorry.
you?
It's a long name.
Mad Austere Censorship Dank Lord Charizard Maximum pledged $1 to us and became a sponsor of this channel. How dare you call him Max?
It's still in the name. Like, you know, it's not like I called him something else, you know, like Yuppie or Junior. Like, I called him Max. It was Maximum.
Thank you so much for becoming a sponsor on the channel, my dude. We really do appreciate it.
For sure.
We really appreciate the name that you chose to make that pledge, too.
No, for real. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious is the next one. I'm telling you. I'm calling it.
Yes, guys, please. I'm going to put the link to our Patreon in the description. I'm sure that everybody loves it when we do this and talk about our Patreon and plug it. But if you could just become a patron, with $1, you'll become a sponsor on the channel, and we will personally be thanking you on every single stream. And if you can come up with some like crazy names, that will be even better. But I really doubt, and I'm not trying to be a dick here, I really doubt that anybody can top the mad austere censorship dank Lord Charizard Maximum. But I want you to try, guys. I want you to try.
Nothing too extreme, you know, nothing too extreme.
But nothing that could get us a channel ban.
Yeah. Please
Okay.
and thank you.
So that just reminds me of when Taco Bell, I think it was Taco Bell, or was it Mountain Dew? Because they've both done this and it ended bad for both of them. When they were like, name our product. And what won was a certain Yahtzee leader did nothing wrong.
And they actually went through with it?
No, they got rid of the competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, stop asking the internet to troll you.
Yeah.
Stop asking.
They're like,
for it.
never doing that again.
Oh man.
Oh, man.
Okay, so the thing about the Pokemon games is I understand why they did what they did, and I'm not even opposed to them doing it, but I'm really getting sick and tired of these fucking companies, including Game Freak, just outright lying to their players about what they're doing. I'm really tired of that shit. Nobody like.
Dude, I'm sorry.
No, I mean the thing is, like Game Freak, I've been playing these games, you know, for legit like 20-something years now. And
Yeah.
still, I know why you're doing what you're doing. Most people do. If you say it's the animation, like that is the easiest fucking thing to see.
I found it very insulting for the "Let's Go" excuse. Do you remember that? I complain to you that every so often, Crow.
Gosh, what was their excuse behind Let's Go? It was the reason why they only kept the original 150 and didn't include like the Sevi Islands or all that shit. Like it was very stripped down.
They said the creation for Let's Go and the fact that they took out, like, they made it like Pokemon Go is for kids who do not own smartphones.
Oh god,
And I'm like,
yeah.
And I was like, so you expect children to own a $300 console that's also a handheld portable? Like that makes sense to me, Nintendo. We know why you did it. Like, I just don't appreciate stuff like that.
You did it to make money. You did it to
Yeah.
cash in on the Pokemon Go. And don't get me wrong, like I bought the games and fuck man, I get it. Like, stop lying to people.
I heard it wasn't that good. Could anybody?
With the Let's Go games?
Yeah.
No,
I didn't even buy it.
Like
No, they're not.
They're really not, Dean. Like they are very dumbed down experiences, but they're fun. Like they're fun to me. Like going around and shiny hunting in them. That's something that I can do. And I like I got shiny starters. I got a shiny Ponyta, shiny Butterfree. I like.
Well, I heard that the encounter rates are also ridiculous.
Now here's the thing. They the way that game works is they'll spawn like probably like 6 to 7 different Pokemon from like one area of grass, and you can do like lures to make more. Get a catch combo. It's not like neither here nor there.
Marionic, do you guys not have phones?
That was a good one, Marionic. And don't get me wrong, that's a good segue to the next one here. But look, it's not that they were terrible games. It was that they were full-priced games.
They charged you to play Go.
Yeah, they were full-priced games that had less content in them than the original remakes of Red and Blue. Like Fire Red and Leaf Green legitimately have more content in them. Let's Go games do. And that's yeah.
No, I was like, last statement on the matter, Crow. Wouldn't you have freaked out if Red and Blue got remade, like to the Switch, and that was the first thing we got? I think that would have been iconic and great.
I would have been all for it. If they had not done Let's Go, but they had remade, they could have remade Yellow. You know, they really could have actually remade Yellow, but done.
That would have been a great
that.
Include the Sevi Islands in there. You know, like include things that people are going to expect you to include that you had the third generation. You know, like the one thing that really upsets me is the idea that they cut out content. They say, well, people don't use it, people don't want to play it. And I'm sitting there going, like, I do. All these other people do. Like, what are you talking about? Stop stripping your games down, dumbing them down, and then turning around to your players and going, here's an obvious lie. Just accept it, guys, and don't ask us any questions. Like, come on. And I'm a huge fan. I'm still going to play these games, still going to buy them and be streaming them. But, like, come on. Stop lying to people. This is getting annoying.
Agreed.
Now, speaking of liars.
And phones.
Phones, yes. I was actually going to go into Fallout 76, but come on. Blizzard is just the Mac daddy lately.
We could say Blizzard for last, but I don't know anything about 76, so Dean, you're probably gonna have to take that spot.
But the 76 thing actually, I'll just mention the 76 thing pretty brief. You know, Fallout 76 launched. It was very busted. There's no single player content. You have to play with a group. So if you have a group, it can be fun. If you don't have a group, then they're very, very dry and boring. They've improved the games in order to keep people in them. But now Bethesda, I guess, has turned around and said, oh, gee, golly goodness, since these games are so expensive to keep on running, guys, well, if you want to play them, this is a really good deal for you. We're not going to do a monthly. Just once a year, you have to pay us $100.
Right.
And I'm like, that's more than the cost of the fucking game.
That's how they're going to make the money back, though, right? Isn't that like the strategy?
I know, but I'm like, they fucked up and they bombed. You don't turn around to the only people playing your game and still staying loyal and turn around and start cutting their throats and bleeding them dry. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that sounds like some gang protection type money.
Right?
They just come around, they're like, nah, you're gonna give us a one-time fee, $100 now, or you're cut off. Like, I don't know.
Or we're releasing your billing information. You know?
Yeah. It's like some weird hostage negotiation with your own players. But Fallout 76, now that was the game where the pre-order bad stuff started to happen.
Oh,
right, where they were promised the bags.
Yes, that is.
And they were given some really cheap bullshit bag. And then the helmet, it turns out, can give you it had mold. The helmets have mold, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Well, who would have ever expected more fuckery from this same game?
I mean, the thing is, they did not make anywhere near the type of money that they needed on that game. They didn't because they made terrible decisions. You know, the very least you could do is nurture the small group that you still have loyal to you, and instead they turn around and they try to fucking drain them. And I'm just, you know, like, Bethesda makes some quality games, don't get me wrong, but they're really well known for basically putting out the buggiest, like the Sword and Shield games. I don't know if anyone's seen the previews of people playing them where they're freezing. That's
Yeah.
very unique to Game Freak. Like that doesn't happen, right?
Yeah.
And these games
Yeah.
are, they're being played and you're not supposed to, so maybe there's something going on there. But Bethesda games are buggy for like 6 months after launch. Like I put down playing one of the Assassin's Creed games. That's not just, I had to put down that game because it was super buggy. And then I remembered how I played through Elder Scrolls, and those games are terrible when they have their bugs. I was going to go, why am I putting up with this from Bethesda when I know they can produce a quality content, like a quality game? But I'm sitting there on an Activision game, go, oh, I don't want to do that, or Ubisoft, and I'll go like, I don't want to play Ubisoft anymore because they gave me a buggy game one time. But I'll sit there on Bethesda, and they can never once produce a game that isn't going to just hardcore crash on you on the day of launch.
Yeah. It's a good point. Bethesda, it's a shame too because what is it? Elder Scrolls Oblivion. That was good stuff. I really enjoyed that. But didn't they also have not it was it a loot system that you had to buy DLC and some of that stuff was overpriced? Didn't you have to pay like what, $20 for a horse or something?
Something, yeah, yeah. So the thing is, these games nowadays, originally like microtransactions were saved for like the multiplayer game, right? Now,
Yeah.
like in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, this is Ubisoft, but you know what? We bring them into this the fucking shit show because they deserve to be here too.
Absolutely.
Fucking started putting in DLC fucking microtransactions into their fucking single player game, and the thing that sucks about the Assassin's Creed Odyssey, especially, it's not a bad game.
Mhm.
It really isn't a bad game, but it's so loaded up with filler and time sinks that you're sitting there going like, why fuck, I'd rather pay you the fucking dollar to just get through this fucking horseshit 3 hours of repetitive content so I can continue with the fucking story.
What was what was the one before it? The one in Egypt? Was that Origins?
Or actually, the thing is, I don't think Origins was anywhere near as bad as Odyssey in terms of the microtransactions. It had a
I thought it
better,
was.
it had a better story and
Yeah.
gameplay.
No, I'll give you that point because I saw Odyssey and I saw that it looked like a rip of a different game. I think it was For Honor, and I was like, I'm not interested. This is not Assassin's Creed. This is like For Honor with Assassin's Creed skin. But one of the things that they didn't tell you what you had to be doing on the side missions for what is it, Origins? It's all the same side missions except in different clothing. So basically, they're like, yeah, you have tons of side missions, and you get this pack with more side missions, but the side missions are all the same. You just got to
Yeah.
go rescue people. So everyone's like, what the hell is this? Assassin's Creed Rescue Rangers? Like, I'm just fucking sick of this. I paid $30 to do the same thing.
It's like, look,
Over.
go onto that island, and you need to clear out this base. So I go, okay, I'll go there. And I'll clear the base. Okay, but now go clear the base that's on the other side of the island. I go, okay, I'll go clear out that base. Well, now go to the final base, and
Yeah.
that base is even larger, and all the enemy types are the same. And I'm just like, okay,
Rescue
Okay.
Rangers.
like, it's just so boring. It just gets so repetitive and boring. And legit, I think Odyssey, I didn't finish it. I think I got like towards the end, and I was just like, I'm so fucking done doing this. Just
No, yeah.
riding my boat from island to island, which originally was fun, but it's like the boat rides take me 10 to 15 minutes to get from one island to the next.
Yep.
I'm getting into these super repetitive boat battles that aren't all that fun. And
They're
then
tedious.
yeah, they're tedious. Like it's all a time sink. Like the game is meant to drag you out so that you go to the cash shop and you say, "Here is $5 fucking. Just let me continue with the fucking story."
I was about to say, I was like, it's pretty bad when they give you stuff to buff you so that way you can just get past all that grueling, grinding garbage. So,
That was the entire marketing strategy behind that fucking game. Get the players into it. Like the starting story actually hooks you in pretty good. And no joke. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, the way it begins, it gets you hooked pretty well.
Mhm.
And then after you finish that first island, maybe the second one, then you start to notice that everything is just the same. Everything is repeating itself. And you go through the entire story like that. And yeah, like the actual story of the game is fun, like dealing with that mystery cult and needing to expose them and everything. But like
Yeah.
the steps to do it all.
Chip and Dale. Yeah, that's right, Dave.
Gosh.
I would just leave this on the high note for not a high note, but on the end note for Assassin's Creed. I want the Ezio collection on Switch. They should just do that because I would buy it. The Ezio stuff was probably their best stuff. They already released Assassin's Creed 3 remastered on Switch. I want Ezio. So
Actually, that'd be
that's
pretty
all.
awesome.
Yeah, the Ezio stuff was the best stuff. That was when the story was deep. The combat was still crap because it wasn't even. The thing is, it wasn't even implied that you're supposed to do combat. You're supposed to like stealth around, but whatever.
You
I
mean you're
digress.
supposed to be an assassin?
Exactly.
Well, I think so. Just a little bit into Ubisoft. Marionic makes a funny point. He says, "I mean, yeah, at least Ubisoft gave us Rayman, and then replaced it with Rabbids."
Yeah, they did. Oh man.
That was. Remember when you were like, "Oh, Ice Cube is the ultimate fuck you Pokemon from Game Freak." Yeah, Rabbids is the ultimate fuck you game from Ubisoft.
Dude, it's true. And I remember when Rayman and the Rabbids were like the same thing, kind of, and then they just got rid of Rayman altogether. The Rabbids got their own like TV show.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
They got a TV show.
They did.
Yeah, it was on Nick.
In fairness, though, I mean, and this is in complete fairness, Rabbids were very popular for kids. Like kids really did like it.
You know,
We were just
I'm
too old.
not gonna argue that with you, Dean. It's that Rayman was still popular, and they just said, "Well, Rabbids more popular," so they just cut Rayman out entirely, and the
No,
fad
they-
for Rabbids died down like super quick.
Yeah,
I
they
could have sworn Rayman got his own game like a few years ago.
they tried to redo it, and it wasn't as popular, probably because there were no Rabbids in it. But like, I don't know. The Rabbids were like the minions before the minions were minions. You know?
Oh yeah, you're right.
Uh,
Okay, now we get to move on to Blizzard.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So this is not going to be talking about how May stands for Hong Kong, even though May does indeed stand for Hong Kong. It's not going to be talking about how China basically is a partial owner of Blizzard at this point.
Yeah.
And in some ways a majority owner that gets to dictate policies for the company. It's not going to be about them banning players for their own speech and then turning around and making political speech that they say is ban-worthy. It's not going to be about any of that. Because this is a video game stream, and even though Blizzard is just monumentally just brain dead at handling the public and public relations and just not being shitty, conniving people, they also can't do a fucking video game anymore. No, don't even go like, oh, Diablo 4, Diablo 4. Yeah, that was supposed to be years ago, motherfuckers.
Yeah. Well, in following the huge backlash that they had last year for Diablo Immortal, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no. Yeah, I saw the apology. The apology of we're sorry people are offended, but we did nothing wrong. Go fuck yourselves. No,
Yeah.
this stream, the reason why Blizzard is on this stream is because these fucking mouth breathers went ahead and made Overwatch 2, which is compatible with Overwatch, meaning all they did was create a patched version of Overwatch and call it a brand new product. That is
so it was kind of like they created DLC
They
and
made-
released it as a game.
yeah.
A brief expansion with no expansion. Yeah.
There's no change there. Like, I was like, oh, I mean, are we getting like some sort of single player mode where you're going to be fleshing out the story for No.
Are there
Oh.
new characters?
Yeah, there are.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean,
No.
you could have just DLC'd that. They create new characters all the
They've
time.
been putting new characters into the game to begin with. And the thing is, as far as I know, they have some sort of balancing issue in Overwatch with characters that they have now. So rather than working on that, rather than fixing the issues people are currently having with that game, they're remaking the exact same product, putting a couple new characters into it, reskinning everybody else, but everybody else has the exact same animations, does the exact same combat, and you know why? Because Overwatch and Overwatch 2 run in the exact same system and you play them together. That is the ultimate just go fuck yourself from Blizzard. That's like, give me your money, you fucking retard! Like I hate to use that word.
Jesus.
I hate to use that word, but I legit think that Blizzard sees us as mentally challenged or something, that they think that they are going to get our fucking money off of that. That is ridiculous.
It could be, but that practice has been used multiple times. Like, what is it? Capcom does it with Street Fighter. Marvel versus.
Dude. Capcom does it with everything they've ever created.
But
No,
Capcom is not Blizzard. Blizzard is massive.
No.
Like, dude,
I know.
Like, I love Capcom. Don't get me wrong. I love Marvel versus Capcom. But
did you buy all 5 of them?
No.
You know, Ultimate
No.
2.
Well, it's not just Marvel versus Capcom. When Capcom does it, it's literally every game. They come out with at least 3 different versions
Super,
for the same
Super
game.
Street
Every
Fighter.
single game they do.
And they'll do minor balance touch-ups, and they'll probably add the DLC plus colors and costumes.
But it's literally every game that's ever come out for Capcom. They have 3 different versions. They're all literally the same game, just with a couple of DLC type things added.
Mortal Kombat adopted that practice because ever since 9, then 9 Definitive came out, X, XL. This one, I'm assuming, is going to do the same thing. And now Blizzard, I guess, looks like they're partaking in that, even though it's never been a good practice to do.
Well,
if it's going to be a sequel, it needs to be a sequel. You can't call it Overwatch 2.
Well,
I think that's where they especially mess up, is because it's called Overwatch 2. Capcom, whenever they do it, they don't call it...
They don't lie.
Second,
Yeah.
they're just like, Extra Edition, Ultimate Edition, Super Mega Ultra Edition.
Yeah. Exactly.
No,
exactly.
that's what they do. What they're legitimately doing is trying to convince people who are already playing Overwatch, or are just going to continue playing Overwatch, to spend more money to play the exact same game. Like, and I'm sitting there going, like, that is just absolutely ridiculous. And you know what? I'm watching the characters like move around. I'm looking at Reinhardt, and I'm like, okay, well, is Reinhardt going to move differently? No, it's the exact same animation even. So I'm going like, okay, well, what are we doing here? Like, what? Now, the reason why the Blizzard thing, why that one this specifically stuck to me, the reason why Blizzard actually got a foothold into the industry was with World of Warcraft. I mean, you know, what really turned them into the juggernaut. At the time, EverQuest was the big game. You know, there was some burnout with EverQuest. World of Warcraft was promising to be like a simpler version. Classic WoW's actually got like a lot of tedious shit into it, but classic EverQuest is just a whole different beast, right? So EverQuest had this brilliant idea that, in spite of the fact that they had the most popular multiplayer MMORPG possible, despite that, right? You know, they went ahead and said, okay, well, we're gonna make EverQuest 2 now, and nobody wanted to play it. Nobody wanted to be forced out of playing EverQuest. So when EverQuest 2 launched, it bombed hardcore. You had what really happened was the player base was fractured enough that neither game was able to maintain itself anymore. And then in came Blizzard with World of Warcraft, and just swept up everybody who just become completely disinterested by what happened with EverQuest, right?
Yeah.
And then look at the shit that Blizzard's doing now. Well, in order to just suck up as many fucking pennies as they can out of people, this is just DLC. This is something that they should be charging for, like a season pass. Pay $20 fucking bucks. We'll upgrade the game to have the new stuff in it. Give you the new characters that come with it. Instead, these motherfuckers turned around, like the fucking scumbags that they are, and said, oh, we're going to remake the exact same fucking game and put 1 or 2 new characters in there.
No, I feel you, Crow. And I know you're a big fan. You know, like, I know you played a ton of Blizzard stuff. I play Blizzard stuff. Broly plays Blizzard stuff, and I think even they left a bad taste in his mouth too. You know, I think he's just moved on to Dauntless at this point.
Yeah, you remember when he wanted everybody to come in and play with fucking the WoW Classic. He was like, let's all play WoW Classic together. He doesn't even want to play that with us anymore.
Yeah, he dropped it. He's like, it's just not the same experience. What is it? Dauntless is free. You don't have to make commitments.
I think maybe he might have not wanted to play WoW Classic with you guys because you guys never got WoW Classic to play with them.
I did get WoW Classic.
I have it too, Dean.
Yeah, I did. And then Blizzard was up to their bullshit. So a bunch of stuff was dropping. I didn't feel like supporting it because I had just got it, and then that happened. And then Broly was just leaving a bad taste in his mouth, and he kind of just went towards Dauntless, and he's like, it's more fun, it's more interactive, because like if we're not the same levels, we can't do anything together, you know?
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he was already a higher level than us, like drastically.
Yeah, I love Dauntless myself.
No, Dauntless is, say what you will, because like it may have like a loot system or whatever, but
it's not that bad.
And it's not necessary to play the game.
Yeah.
That's just if you want to support it. You have to subscribe to play WoW monthly.
Well, most of their loot stuff is just appearance like stuff.
Cosmetic, yeah.
Yeah, cosmetic. And that's like, yeah, that's totally fine. I have no problem with that, because if you want to pay for cosmetic stuff, like, go ahead.
Actually, I'm going to tell you right now, they do have you can buy grenades and you can buy the consumable potions. You can pay actual money for that.
Oh yeah, but you definitely don't need to, because I don't pay, and I have all of those.
And even if you did, it's like 50 cents, and you could legit just go run around one game map and make more potions and make more grenades than you could spending that 50 cents. So it's like, there's no purpose to doing it.
Yeah.
And even if you did, like, you're not going to get much of a benefit by just paying for grenades, right? Because you're not improving your armor, you're not improving your weapons, you're not improving your skill set. You're going to be terrible at the game. Yeah. There's no pay. So to me, like, there's no real pay to win there. Anything you spend, like the platinum, that currency that they have, it's legit, like you guys said, it's towards cosmetics, it's towards better weapons, it's towards better looking armor. That's it.
Yeah. But like Blizzard, they're kind of a far cry of what they used to be.
Well, the core team's gone,
Yeah, they're gone. What is it? Diablo 3, when it came out, didn't have like a loot box system, or just like a pay to win kind of thing, and then they had to take it out because it had so much backlash, and people who were actually grinding, you could just pay to get it, and it didn't sit well. And now I heard from fandom, I think, that in Diablo 4, that the same loot system's in there again. Like, you could just pay to get whatever. So, I don't know how that's going to work out. None of their decisions have been working out. Diablo Immortal was a disaster. I think they abandoned it. I don't know if they're probably going to go through with it because they put money to it.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, Diablo Immortal was not made for a U.S. audience.
Yeah.
I mean, it's made for the
What
Chinese
is
market.
Diablo Immortal? Can you
It's a mobile game, and
it's a piece of trash.
Boo, mobile game. Boo.
That's exactly what they did on the press conference. You guys don't have phones. That was their big comeback.
Oh, so that was Marianick's joke. Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't get that?
Yeah, no, I finally get it.
Yeah. So they announced this mobile game, and like everybody's sitting there waiting for fucking Diablo 4 to be announced.
Oh, I do remember this. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I do.
And they came out with Diablo Immortal for your cell phone, your smartphone, and they're like, "Is this a bad, like, out of date?
Is this an out of season April Fool's joke?
Well, do you guys not have phones?" What a big disconnect from your audience, man.
Yeah, you have an audience of PC gamers, and you went ahead and announced a mobile game.
That's basically your brand, and you're trying to branch out to tablet and mobile. Like, if you have a tablet, you can play on that too. Like, no one wants to do that.
You don't like our products now? And fuck you, dude.
Well, because it'd be different if it was a mobile game already, and they, announced a new one, and people would have been excited. But like, yeah, it's a PC game. PC players generally tend to want to play PC games on their PC.
No, exactly. And Blizzard's just been like missing. It's been full of misses, and their PR guy, they must revolve around a bunch of them because he's not doing a good job, or I don't know.
I mean, honestly, what's he gonna do?
I'm sorry.
That's like the one dude I don't blame, because he's literally just hired to make the company look good. He's trying to do his job, and he's like, "Why are you guys doing this to me?"
He's like, "To do my job, I need most of these people in this company to leave."
Yeah.
to leave.
To do my job, I need half the company to leave, and I need a giant bottle of whiskey.
Now what is it? And then WoW Classic comes out this year. They thought it was going to be a failure. It was a big success. Then they did the thing with the whole Hong Kong fiasco.
Yeah.
So they probably lost supporters through that. I'm sure they did, like a good chunk. And now
Yeah,
they're
but
releasing.
they still maintained their biggest supporter, which is China.
And what is it? They now
Oh no,
WoW,
Marionic is great here. In before you need to play Diablo Immortal in order to understand Diablo 4.
right? And it's a prequel to Diablo 3. So
No,
well, not even
legit,
Diablo
watch
3.
it. Watch this. In order to unlock like the shit that you need to play Diablo 4, you'll have to like link up your Diablo Immortal game.
If you want to use any character whatsoever in Diablo 4, you need to have beaten Diablo Immortal. Like it just has a lock on the whole game, even though you just bought it because you didn't play Immortal.
God damn it! You know what's really sad?
No.
You remember when EA Games was like fucking everybody over on Star Wars last year?
Yeah.
And then every single one of these assholes stepped up and said, "Hold my motherfucking beer, bitch."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty spot on because I mean, I think the Star Wars EA games, those were kind of like when like people really started complaining about loot boxes.
Because they were insane, man. Do you remember? Wasn't it like $80 to unlock Darth Vader?
Yeah, so what happened was if you beat
more
the
than the
entire
game.
game, if you beat the entire game, right? Like played through the entire story mode, which was only somewhere like 4 hours, I think. It only gave you enough credits to unlock the main character to use in the combat.
Mm-hmm.
And you would
And
need
you
to
would,
like you'd have to pay money to unlock everybody else.
yeah. And what is it? If you wanted to grind to get them, right? It would time you out, and you could probably pay money to unlock the timer instead of just waiting like what 2 hours it wanted you to wait to play again. So no matter what, they're trying to squeeze you for money. You know what I mean? Like if you're trying to grind and not spend money, they time you out so you have to wait, or they put a paywall in front of you to get past it, or you just have to
Yeah.
wait 2 hours to play again.
Yeah.
So no matter what, they're trying to squeeze you because that game was like $60 on top of the DLC. They wanted $80 for Darth Vader. Like you get to hang out with him and get an autograph and have lunch. Like no, that's
I
insane.
would pay $80 for that.
No, it was a total fucking just shit show. And the thing is, like, the combat in the game is okay. It's not like it was groundbreaking or anything out of the park. What's really frustrating about EA doing that shit is they are the only ones making a Star Wars game. And on top of doing that, they then shut down a single player game that had been in the works for years, right? And they shut it down because they said, well, people don't want to play single player anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, just like fuck off. Like you could make a decent profit. Like, you could make a decent profit and you give people what they want. Instead, you sit there and try to just squeeze out everything you can on a game that you know is going to burn out in 6 months.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
God. Yeah. Okay.
it's a shame.
Did we get everybody in here? And now it's time for Hideo Kojima.
Let's. I don't know anything about Death Stranding. All I know is it took forever to come out, and I used to call it the Norman Reedus game. All I know about Death
Kind
Stranding.
of is Norman Reedus game. Okay, so the thing about Death Stranding, and the reason why I put it on here is just because there is so much stuff about this game that everybody's saying that I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait a little bit, because I know as bad as I just ripped on those Pokemon games, I'm still gonna play those Pokemon games. I'm still gonna have fun. But with Death Stranding, this thing is weird to me. There is a political message behind it, and it's not anything that I think is too bad. What?
I'm sorry.
Norman
I'm
Reedus
sorry.
and his
Cool
funky
man.
fetus.
Yeah.
I was trying not to laugh.
I couldn't help it. That was a good one.
Okay, so the thing about these games is like, or this game is, it does have a political message behind it. I don't think that that's a big deal though. Hideo Kojima has always been about wanting to like build this one world where everybody's connected, and you can see that in his past titles. That's something that really means a lot to him. So he made this game because he sits there and says, well, right-wing nationalism is a threat to unity. And in his version of unity, I'm actually not going to disagree with him. It would be a threat to the way that he sees unity.
Yeah.
But he did not make a video game in which you have a character out there talking about how they want to make they're gonna make the world great again or some stupid bullshit, and he wants to build up a border wall to keep to keep all the migrants out. There was nothing stupid and just right up on the nose about it. And his message in the game, as far as I understand and what I've been told, is legitimately about people working together. I sit there and go, oh, well, that's just a powerful message regardless of the politics. That's fine.
Yeah.
But it's the weird shit that fucking Hideo Kojima does in his games. And I missed the comment earlier because people already started talking about it. They're cool, man. Death Stranding isn't a game. It's just Kojima's newest ego-stroking wankfest. Yeah, kind of. Kind of. The game does start off, from what I understand, and you guys can all tell me if I'm wrong. I'm probably not the best person to be commenting on this one, but since it was Kojima, I had to say it. The game apparently starts off in like a 4-hour window, which you're basically just watching cutscenes and not engaging in any actual gameplay because it takes that long for Kojima to really explain what's happening. And that is, if that's what you're doing, I think that's a failure right off the bat. Because
I was like, you should have just released a movie if you wanted to do that.
Yeah, essentially. There's so many mixed reviews. A lot of people are telling me like they really, really, really love the story in the game. They really do. They say that they love the way everything works. It feels really polished together. Blah blah blah. But there is about nobody who's defending the 4-hour window where you start the game and don't get to do anything.
No, yeah, dude. I don't know anything about it, so I'm just like learning all this stuff while you're saying it.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with this one.
Yeah, the only thing I know is somebody made like a Yoshi parody, like Yoshi's Island, so it's called Yoshi Stranding, and he has the little baby Mario in the incubus thing.
Wait, where is this? Where can I find this?
It's on Twitter, of course. Like, where else do you find anything?
Damn it. I'll never be able to find that.
I'll use the advanced search and type in like Yoshi Stranding or something. Actually, it could be on YouTube by now, so I'll find it for you.
Now, the one thing I'm going to say here, the reason why I'm not ripping into Kojima so hard, is the dude does weird shit in his games all the time. And he does try to push the boundaries, but I will always respect somebody trying to be ambitious and just not hitting the mark than I will these other assholes who sit around and just fucking try to plan out how they're going to steal your fucking pennies. Like, how they can just manipulate you out of your cash. The shit with Blizzard and Overwatch is worse than everything else on the list here. But I think it's really, like, I don't know how to say it. I think it's really showing that all of these companies, the big companies, are just utterly failing at what they're doing. And they're so greedy and they're so self-interested. Like, Mortal Kombat 11, I don't know what the fuck that was about. But, like, why are you doing this? Why are you changing the characters that people have grown with for years and then just enjoying as people insult your fucking fan base? Why are you doing that?
No, yeah. On top of Mortal Kombat always facing controversy that people want it to be like go away, to get banned for whatever reason, why are you gonna just like choose to bend the knee
of your fans? Like, no,
yeah,
not just bend the knee. You spat in the face of your fans. You told them that what they liked was wrong, it was dirty, and you're going to give them the clean version now because that's what they need. And then that everything that they've enjoyed from you for legitimately years, they were wrong to defend.
Very off topic, but Dean, I sent you that video. It's in the Discord.
Oh, I found it. Me and Coolman both posted it in the chat.
Like the Sword and Shield stuff, I love Game Freak. You don't need to lie to your player base. You can tell people the truth, and I guarantee you, had they just said the fucking truth, I would be out there with defending Game Freak to hell and back against the people that are going to try to tear it down. Don't get me wrong. I'm just sitting there like totally neutral, and I'm just like, okay, well that's not true, but like I totally agree. They shouldn't be cutting out all these fucking Pokemon to give us absolutely nothing in turn.
No, yeah, and the thing is, by doing that, they shot themselves in the foot because more than ever, people are paying attention to these graphics that they said they were going to improve on. You know what I mean? And then they come out with a Zamazanta doing that funky 180.
Yeah.
And
why would they even Wait, was
Release
that
it.
a leak or did they show that?
It was an early access copy, somebody playing the game, and they got to that point, and Zamazanta did the thing, so they recorded it, because you can record clips on the Switch, 30-second clips. And they posted it, and they're not wrong, like that. You shouldn't have released it like that if you were gonna say you were gonna give us a huge experience.
Like, how hard would it have been to have like made him do a jump 180 and like walk off?
I'd rather Zamazanta
just have him-
backflipped off screen,
Just have
like
him
just
do like a small turn or something. Like Jesus Christ, it's very apparent that the animations in the game really aren't that different.
Can we see that clip again?
Oh God, you really want to?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna play the clip to end the stream for you guys, so you can all
I'm
enjoy
good
it.
with that. I'm good with that, because that's oh my God. Next to Ice Cube, that's another FU. You know what I mean? Like that's. Could you imagine if Ice Cube tried to do like a 180 and it just didn't work out, and the whole world?
No, but like for real, I would say that the thing that happened with Game Freak over here is just really annoying because they consistently will lie rather than just being honest with their fans about what's going on. Like you tell people the truth. When an article came out in which like I can't remember who did it, but they got confused or it was a mistranslation. They thought that there were going to be 18 gyms, and Game Freak came out and said, "No, there's only 8." I said,
"Yeah,
well, that's responsible because you didn't let people get built up on this hype of something that was never going to happen." But like, just tell the fucking truth. People will back you up. The worst fucking person on this list, though, I would say even worse than EA, which is surprising, would be Activision Blizzard. Like, they are absolutely hands down just worst trash fire gaming.
Agreed.
Yeah.
100%.
It's one thing to be greedy, conniving assholes trying to just milk and worm out as many pennies from kids as you can.
Yeah.
And it's another thing to be doing that at the behest of the Chinese government. Like that's like just another level of stupid.
No, for sure. I would also like to point out that because I can't stop looking at this clip.
I
like to point out
at it hard.
No, not even in the 3DS games that nothing like that ever happened. This is on the Switch, man.
What bothers me is it's not only is that turning animation bad, the graphics don't look super great. I don't know if maybe that's just the like capture quality that the person had.
No, like honestly, when you're in combat, the graphics are an improvement from what you're seeing here. When you do like the Gigantamax stuff or the Dynamax stuff, the animations are definitely a step up. Problem is, they'll show those clips of people and like you doing the battles and everything. They'll show the best animations they can, but then they're avoiding showing you this shit.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, I mean, I don't expect them to show me their worst.
No, I get it. But I mean, like, if they're only going to show you battle animations from like event battles and everything, or gym battles,
they're hiding something.
Well, like there's the battle of Team BL, right? It takes place in a building, and when you battle in the buildings in Let's Go games, there is like a background image of the building you're in, right?
Yeah.
When you do that in these games, it's just a white room, like with white shading on the walls, and I'm sitting there going like, what the fuck? Like,
the background disappeared.
Yeah, the background disappears. I'm sitting there going, why? You just did that in Let's Go. How the fuck did you not do that in this game?
That's such a shame. I mean, I'm thinking back to it, I'm like, fucking Pokemon Snap had more fluidity than this clip I'm looking at, Like, that's sad.
Oh my gosh. Actually, you know what? I didn't say it, but we're about to end the stream here. Lady Titania, you are 100% correct. It is a massive shame that they never gave us a new Pokemon Snap game. Fuck the Let's Go games. If they put Pokemon Snap on the Switch, that'd be fucking amazing.
Dude, it'd be perfect because the Switch has a camera button to take pictures.
Yeah, no, it would be. Can you just imagine the shit that they would be able to show you?
Yeah, and you can share it with your friends and on social media. So, like, that's awesome. Oh, Lady Titania, hi, by the way. I didn't even notice. I haven't been paying attention to chat too much.
No, we're good. Dean, Well, let me just ask the chat here. I got this stuck on my screen, so I'm not looking at anything anyone's saying anymore. Does anybody have any questions for us before we end the stream?
Dean, do you have any questions for us?
Do I have questions? No. I was waiting for questions to roll in since he asked. I don't see any questions. Well, I mean, I see one from Xeno Knight that I think was asked a little bit ago. What if Square Enix made a Final Fantasy style Star Wars game? Hair, looks, everything.
I mean, it'd be legit, but there'd be paywalls.
Yeah, there would. Like as much as I love that Final Fantasy VII the way that looks right now, no, absolutely not. Yeah, the fact of the matter is they're breaking up Final Fantasy, which they don't need to, into like 2 separate games. I'm not a fan of that. Period.
For another nonsense reason.
Yeah, there's no way with the kind of power you have in consoles and just storage space that you're unable to fit all of Final Fantasy into one. Like, I don't buy it.
No, we want to break it into episodes because it's too big. I'm like, well, you made it multiple discs, back when it first got. So why don't you just do that again? If that's the case.
Money. They're gonna, and I would guarantee you they're gonna charge you full price for each episode.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm like, don't bullshit me, man.
All
Come
right.
on.
Well, we're gonna end the video here then, guys, end the stream. But real quick, just once again, we want to give a very super special thanks to our first ever channel sponsor, the Mad Austere Censorship Danklord Charizard Maximum.
For sure. Thank you, man.
But no, Ori, you got to say the whole thing.
I did. Wait. We do have another question.
Oh, we do?
From Marianic.
Oh, okay.
He just posted it. When do you think the Sonic movie game is coming out on Switch?
The same day as the movie releases. You get to play it in theaters in case you hate the movie.
Oh, man. You know what, though?
I like the new trailer.
Yeah, that new trailer is way better.
For sure. Agreed. 100%. Without a doubt.
All right, everybody.
And closing Patreon. Yes. You want to just plug the Patreon?
That's what I do. Do you not see the screen, sir?
Well, I mean,
no, I don't.
So ask people.
Yes, everybody. If you could, Dean, can you put the Patreon link into the chat again?
Oh, jeez, I'd have to find it. Hold on.
You don't need to do it. I don't mind. Here. I'll do it.
Well, you had it up already. You know what I mean? Like you posted the link. I just don't have it like on me.
What I'm doing.
Please don't fight.
They're going to see like our YouTube page and everything. There we go.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay. Here we go. Guys, this is the DNA Crows Patreon page. It is literally $1 to become a sponsor on the channel. And we will 100% be thanking you in every stream, possibly multiple times throughout the stream. And the one thing I want more than even the dollar, the one thing I want more than even that sweet dollar.
Is 5 of them? 10 of them?
No, I want to see what kind of names you guys can come up with. And I want to see if anyone out there can top the Mad Austere Censorship Danklord Charizard Maximum.
Say that in the mirror at like 3 a.m. See what happens. Kind of like Bloody Mary. Try that out. I want to see.
I'll just get like fucking curb stomped by a Charizard.
That's maximum and dank. And for Pokemon related content, where can they go?
Yes, guys, if you're still interested in playing the Sword and Shield games and I didn't completely ruin that for you, please check out the Poke Crows R Us on YouTube, at Poke Crows on Twitter. You'll be able to see our videos. We're actually uploading on DNA Crows to multiple channels. BitChute, Dailymotion, YouTube, Minds, doing the exact same thing with Poke Crows. And where the DNA Crows is mostly me and my brother. We try to get other people involved too. The Poke Crows is a channel that's being run by me, Dean, Origami, BPM Broly, Top Dollar, Shadow. It's all of us kind of working together, and it's been a lot of fun so far. We're doing like one video a day, and on Friday when the games launch, we'll be streaming on Mixer. So if anybody wants to join us, just follow at Poke Crows on Twitter, and when that goes up, I'll tag as many people as I can.
Good stuff. Thanks for having me on, gents.
All right, everybody.
Thank you for coming on. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Adios.